Welcome everyone to this webinar on the Farm Business Resilience Program and how to develop a Farm Business Resilience Plan. In today's webinar, you'll learn about the recent changes to drought funding and assistance programs and how to access the funding by completing a Farm Business Resilience Plan and submitting it as part of an application to receive funding under the program. The Farm Business Resilience Program is jointly funded through the Australian Government's Future Drought Fund and the Queensland Government's Drought and Climate Adaptation Program. Producers are being assisted in accessing funding by the Queensland Farmers Federation and the Nursery and Garden Industry Queensland. The biggest reform in generations to Queensland's drought assistance will help Queensland primary producers improve their management of future droughts. New drought assistance programs will focus on greater preparedness and business resilience for a broader range of eligible Queensland primary producers. This means the new drought assistance will include eligible primary producers across all industries. Under the new drought assistance guidelines, producers will no longer need a drought declaration to access drought preparedness assistance, which will be available at any time. The Farm Business Resilience Program aims to build the strategic management capacity of primary producers to prepare for and manage business and climate risks. This will help producers improve their economic, environmental and social resilience. Funding is being made available under the drought preparedness grants for on-farm capital improvements to improve drought preparedness and resilience, with a rebate of 25% for amounts spent up to $200,000. To access the new drought assistance, producers will need to have a Farm Business Resilience Plan or equivalent. These plans identify activities to improve resilience when applying for the drought preparedness grants or loans. The first step in the process is to organise an on-site or conference call discussion with NGIQ to discuss the process and identify areas for investment. NGIQ has a lot of expertise in water efficiency, dams and related water management that can help with developing farm business resilience plans. Step 2 is to prepare or review your Farm Business Resilience Plan. To develop and implement a plan, producers can attend a Farm Business Resilience Program workshop or training event run by NGIQ or the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries. Producers can write a plan themselves or engage a professional to assist. Option A is to engage a professional to assist with the development of the Farm Business Resilience Plan. There's funding available to promote and assist this new program, enabling participants to engage professional assistance with a 50% rebate on amounts up to $5,000. Option B for developing the Farm Business Resilience Plan is to use your own resources and people to write the plan or ask NGIQ to assist. There's an online tutorial and guidance notes are available to take you through the process of completing the Farm Business Resilience Plan. In writing up the plan, you need to identify risks in the following areas: climate variability, particularly drought, weather and seasonal variation, biosecurity risks, family business risks, production loss, financial and market risks, workforce risks, and personal and other related risks. Step 3 is to develop a funding proposal for submission. Following the guidance provided by the Farm Business Resilience Plan, areas for capital expenditure are identified that will help the business reduce the impacts of future droughts. For production nurseries, these will primarily be capital expenditure that makes more water available. For example, a new bore, or changing to more efficient irrigation, or some combination of these. Step 4 for accessing the grant funding is to submit the Farm Business Resilience Plan and funding application to the Queensland Rural Industry Development Authority, or QRIDA. QRIDA will only be reviewing the drought section of the Farm Business Resilience Plan when assessing funding under this grant. Some of you are familiar with the work of QRIDA and have benefited from their programs in the past. NGIQ has an excellent relationship with QRIDA staff and they understand our industry and are keen to help. The detail of the drought preparedness grants can be found online using this link. The last step is, if the grant application is successful, to then implement the plan. If your plans require large expenditures, further funding is available as a concessional interest loan of up to $250,000 for drought preparedness measures identified in a farm business resilience plan. A drought declaration is not required to access these loans. Interest-free concessional emergency drought assistance loans are also available for drought-affected primary producers, and up to $50,000 is available for carry-on activities such as paying wages or creditors during drought. The Drought Carry-On Finance Loan Scheme is a concessional interest loan for drought-declared primary producers with up to $250,000 available. QRider also have low interest loans available for expenditures that are not covered under any grant or concessional loan, but still meet their lending criteria. To access the drought preparedness grants and other drought funding, a farm business resilience plan must be developed and provided with the funding application. Alternatively, an existing business plan, format or template is acceptable, provided it is consistent with the sections required for the funding application. The following guide has been developed by the Queensland Government to take you through the process of completing the Farm Business Resilience Plan for your business. If you require assistance completing your business plan, please contact NGIQ or the DAF Customer Service Centre. Training workshops are available to assist you in completing a Farm Business Resilience Plan, or you can watch an online tutorial to step you through the process. For assistance with grant or loan applications, please contact QRider on 1800 623 946. The Farm Business Resilience Plan identifies goals and assesses strategies and plans to manage risks, including drought. A business plan should be evidence-based, incorporate relevant information from training, and be tailored to the purpose of the business operation. It should outline how actions will be implemented, monitored, and reviewed. In the About Our Business section, the names of the business owners are listed along with business details, including the business name and address, ABN, email address, and telephone numbers. Our property is the name and address of the property that is the subject of the business plan. Where more than one property is covered by the business plan, list the additional properties in numerical order in the table provided. Our primary production operation is where you add details of the primary production operation under 5 separate headings. For example, we operate a production nursery near whatever your closest town is. The area of our nursery is the area of the property. Our typical annual yield off this area is how many plants or units are produced. In a normal year, the gross value of the production is approximately so many dollars gross income from plant production. We normally employ so many permanent, casual, and/or seasonal staff. The section on family members and employees identifies roles and responsibilities of people involved in the business operation. You should include family members and other people such as employees, business advisors, agronomists, and DAF extension officers. In Section 2, describe what you want to achieve with your primary production business. The individual dot points below are examples of what people may be motivated to achieve. You may wish to say that you want to run a profitable and sustainable business that provides for your current and future needs, can withstand the adverse impacts of climate and market variability, is a sustainable land management system, and is a viable business for future generations. Section 3 covers the goals of the business under 4 categories: production, natural resources, business, and personal. Each category of goals should cover how the goal is going to be achieved, the timeframes it is expected the goal will take to achieve. These timeframes need to be consistent with the size of the project. For longer timeframes of 2 years or more, annual milestones to monitor progress should be included. And finally, how will you measure the success of the goal? Section 4 considers how risks are to be managed. The risks need to be identified and strategies developed to lessen their financial effect on the business. Actions identified through this process are recorded in Section 6. In the business plan, risks come under three main headings: production, business, and personal risks. Production risks include climate and weather, such as drought, fire, flood, and hail. Examples of strategies to address these risks could be to maintain fire breaks and firefighting equipment in good condition, monitor rainfall and flood forecasting, install hail netting, or purchase hail insurance. It should be noted that risk management for drought is covered in more detail in Section 6. Biosecurity risks can come from major plant diseases or pests. A biosecurity plan can be put in place that is reviewed and updated on a regular basis, and plant diseases and insects can be reduced by crop monitoring and management. Examples of natural resources risks are erosion control and drainage water management. Erosion can be controlled by having impervious, non-erodible surfaces in drainage systems, and drainage water from the production areas can be captured and used for irrigation. Business risks include financial risks such as cash flow, debt levels, adequate carry-on finance, equity level, adequacy of loan security, ability to increase borrowings, and interest rates. Strategies to manage these risks could be to monitor and review interest rates, as well as interest rate risk margins and loan term arrangements. Maintain an honest and open communication with your bank manager. Ensure equity is funded through profit and not just inflation. Analyse the profitability of the enterprise and monitor the change in net worth over time. Market risks can include loss of sales through broader economic fluctuations, which can be managed by closely monitoring economic cycles and adjusting production levels to suit. Personal risks include workplace health and safety. These risks could be addressed by having workplace health and safety as a priority for the business, with a workplace health and safety risk assessment being completed and implemented, and standard operating procedures available for staff training and reference. Key people need to be considered, such as how would your business cope if a key person was out of action for 3 months. This could be addressed by having a training program to have more than one person able to manage each role. Family considerations such as marriage, succession planning, divorce, and children's education also need to be addressed. An example of this is to have a current succession plan that is documented, discussed with family members, and reviewed regularly. An education fund can be established to meet future school expenses. A succession plan, last will and testament, and enduring power of attorney are significant business and personal risk management strategies. Formal succession plans provide for a smooth and transparent transition of handing the production operation to the next generation or for future sale of the business. The absence of a last will and testament when someone dies can have significant consequences at a personal and business level. Legal advice about an up-to-date will is recommended. An enduring power of attorney is important if a parent or family member becomes mentally incapacitated. Section 5 is about how dry conditions and drought are managed. This section outlines strategies aimed at managing the risk of drought and its effect on your business. New infrastructure and practices may be identified to help your business operation during the process of reviewing this. New actions can be listed in Section 6. An example of how a business may plan to manage for dry conditions and drought is for the business to use weather and seasonal climate forecasting sites to make decisions about seasonal variations and drought conditions. The business can identify drought preparedness strategies such as having adequate water supplies and improving water use efficiency. Farm management deposits can be used as a financial buffer for drought periods. During a drought event, you may plan to use various management strategies and activities to manage water supplies, adjust growing schedules to meet changing demand and production capabilities, and regularly review your financial position and adjust as required. You may also make use of personal and community support measures that assist families with their health and well-being and use farm management deposits as an additional tool to manage the financial position of the business. To recover from a drought, areas that need to be considered are how the business plans to recover financially and bring production back to pre-drought levels. After the drought, you need to formally review what worked and what didn't, and changes that need to be made to planning, management, and post-drought planning. It's important to keep in mind the need to revise these plans as time passes. For example, during a drought, check to see if the strategies outlined in your business plan are the strategies you plan to continue to use to prepare, respond, and recover from drought. Section 6 outlines the actions that you plan to take to achieve those outcomes identified in the other areas of the business plan. The areas that need to be considered are what are the actions you plan to put into place, how you plan to put those actions into place, how long it will take to implement the plan, and how the outcomes will improve your business. This information will be particularly focused on when assessing your application for the Drought Preparedness Grant. Section 7 identifies whether you completed the business plan yourself or consulted with another person or persons. Seeking help from a third party can improve how well a plan is tailored to your circumstances and improve the outcome. Section 8 is a confirmation that the business plan uses assumptions and strategies based on the primary production business specified in the plan. A business plan is a living document, and it's recommended that it be reviewed at least annually, or more often if there are significant changes. When seeking finance for new activities, an updated business plan could provide more support for future applications for funding than an outdated plan. Also, keep a record of reviews of the Farm Business Resilience Plan for future reference. Section 10 is a record of the completed activities identified in Section 6. Keeping a record of completed activities shows a track record of how projects have been addressed in the past and can be used when applying for funding in the future from lenders such as QRider. Your Farm Business Resilience Plan is now complete and ready for your funding application to QRider. For more information on the Farm Business Resilience Program, grant funding, or completing a Farm Business Resilience Plan, please contact the Nursery and Garden Industry Queensland.